y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Under Construction from Pain to Purpose. I'm Ashley Krause, and I am your host. And I am really excited to be here today. This is the first time that we're filming a full episode in the new studio. And I want to introduce Miss Christy Fithen. It is an honor to have her here today. Her story is phenomenal. I've literally watched this lady just grow leaps and bounds just over the last year and a half. So welcome, Christy. I'm really glad to have you here today. Can you tell us a little bit about just your journey, like where you started to how you got to where you're at today?
My journey started from being homeless for over 8 years. And I didn't have the courage to change, although I have the courage inside of me, anyways. I didn't know how to change.
Yeah.
I lost my mom, and uh, it, it caused me to be homeless. And I went deeper into using, and so my journey started when I surrendered.
Well, that's awesome. So are you originally from Knox County?
I am.
That's awesome. So, a lot of times we talk about how trauma can be or trauma correlates a lot with substance use. Had you experienced a traumatic event that had led you to substance use?
Um, Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I started getting high at an early age, and I liked it, thought it was cool. Um, and then the traumatic part of it was when my mom passed away. And when my mom passed away, I didn't have nowhere to turn to. I didn't have nobody, and I ended up on the streets.
How long did you struggle with substance use?
I've struggled with it since I was 12 years old. That's when it started.
Wow.
And I actually went deeper into it, um, deeper and deeper about 10 years ago.
12 years old. That's young.
Yes, ma'am.
Was your mom aware that you had started using at such a young age?
Yes, ma'am. I was taking pills, and I was actually getting them from my mom.
Mm.
And I went to treatment a few months before my mom passed in Florida, and 2015. And in 2016, my mom passed February 27th. By April, I was on the streets, heavy on the streets.
So did she also struggle with substance use?
She didn't, or she was prescribed her medication. So um, she didn't, we didn't know about the struggle of addiction back
Yeah.
then. I just knew that I liked getting high. Um, which, like I said, when my mom passed, it led me to homelessness and deeper and doing more drugs.
I can't even imagine being homeless out here in Knox County, let alone being a female and being homeless. Can you share a little bit about what that experience was like?
It was very traumatizing. I've seen a lot of things that no one should see,
Yeah, I can imagine.
and I've done a lot of things that caused me to have guilt and shame against myself. I'm glad there's freedom. I'm glad there's
Amen.
freedom. I thought I would die out there. I actually thought I would die out there.
So what would you say was your turning point that, you know, gave you a little bit of hope or even, sparked an interest into looking into recovery?
Well, the I got arrested. I got arrested, and I had been over being outside in the freezing cold. I've been over getting high. I was just over it. So I walked past the gateway, and I had a friend that I was I knew from the streets, and he was attending meetings and stuff there. And he inspired me even after my jail time. Um, he inspired me to come through, and he said, "Aren't you tired yet?" And I was so tired. He knew I was so tired, tired of walking around night and day, you know, tired of not getting any rest, tired of being hungry, tired of not having a shower when I wanted it. I was just tired.
That's awesome. I love that it was somebody that you were out there with before that turned their life around and gave you that little bit of hope. That's really how recovery works is, we can't keep, something that was freely given to us and to share our story with others. You just never know how it will affect you.
Right.
So when you come into the gateway, what was that experience like?
It was, I was a little scared, didn't know what it was about.
Were you still
Um,
actively using when you walked in the doors?
I was, I was, but I was so tired. I just kept coming back. And then, I got to turn myself in. Someone inspired me to turn myself in because I had violated. I'd already went to Buffalo Valley, um, and I really enjoyed it. However, I came back and went back out, and so I was kind of like on the run, so to
Yeah.
speak. And so I didn't want to run. I didn't want to run. I didn't want to hide. I didn't want to have to be watching over my shoulder 24/7. So another addict inspired me to turn myself in to get it behind me, and that's what I did.
I can imagine that was scary.
It was a want to. So therefore it wasn't to me, it wasn't that scary.
You
I
was
mean,
just
I was
ready.
just ready. I was so ready to just surrender and give it the shot anyway.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. What could it hurt? You know?
Had you had any, like, significant recovery time prior to going to Buffalo Valley and getting out before?
Probably 6 months. But I didn't work a program, so I didn't. I mean, and I went to IOP years ago and completed it, but I didn't really know how to work a program. You know, I didn't get a sponsor. I went to meetings, but I didn't really know what this stuff was about.
Yeah.
And today I am all in. I am all in.
That is so
I
exciting.
am not going back. There's nothing to turn back to.
No, there's
Um,
not.
I wouldn't give my recovery up for the misery that I was in outside.
So, working at the Gateway and you having experienced homelessness here in Knox County, which is really around the corner from some of our unhoused encampments, how do you handle that sometimes walking through there?
I allow myself I don't allow myself to I don't know how to answer that. I just know that it reminds me of what I do not wanna go back to. And I pray. I pray daily for, you know and of course we have to fight our demons, but I pray daily for God's protection because without him, I would be right back out there, without his strength, because yeah, there's nothing to turn back to, and I just have to love on my family my outside my unhoused family from where I am. I'm no
Mhm.
better than, I just live differently.
Thank you.
Mm,
That was a really good answer. So you turned yourself in Knox County. How long did you have to serve?
they kept me for 2 months, and I got out, and I went to Iron Gate Recovery, where I am still residing. It's been 19 months,
Wow.
and I still reside there, and just being there helped me to regain structure in my life, and keep me focused on the things that I have to do in order to stay clean. Um, it's just everything I'm doing, I am so grateful that I have the strength to keep going. You know, what I keep in mind is I did what it took to get high, so I'm gonna do what it takes to stay clean.
That's right.
And I'm on a road, I don't know where I'm going.
So you had connected with the Gateway
Mhm.
before jail. Had you reconnected once you got released?
Absolutely.
What'd that look like?
I asked an individual to be my sponsor, and I started coming to meetings, and I just got involved, and I built this accountability network of people that I know loved me, and cared about me. And I called it my home away from home and my safe place. And the only place I'd rather be other than the house, you know? Um, it's just an awesome journey to have built that accountability and to keep myself involved in people around me that I know care about me.
Miss Christy, I just gotta say I love you, and I'm so incredibly proud of you. I have watched you from the day one when you walked in the door struggling to
Yes,
where you're at
ma'am.
today, and your journey has been nothing short of a miracle, and it's amazing. Um, you know, recovery has its own challenges. There's still a lot of stigma associated with it, and a lot of times our past creates barriers for us to access, different things. What are some of the struggles that you've experienced even in recovery?
One of the main struggles that I've experienced in my recovery is my son. Just seeing my son out there and him not getting it together, that's a struggle. But I get through it because I have to do my recovery. I can't force it on him. I can tell him anything about it. Um, but that's my struggle. Seeing my son come up and down through there to see me and everything, it's a struggle to see him.
Yeah, I can't even imagine having a child watching. I know that that's got to be hard, and I commend you for, setting those boundaries, keeping yourself healthy, and showing him the love from a distance, but also modeling recovery.
Yes, ma'am.
You never know what kind of impact that's going to have on his life.
He sees it.
Oh yeah,
He
definitely. I,
sees
I
it.
I think most of the area sees recovery from you. You just glow. You have this aura about you that just, I mean, it's almost like pure gratitude, and I think it's amazing. So also talking about some of the barriers, I know you've had some struggles with like housing. Like I've seen and kind of watched you, struggle getting, turned down. What has that been like?
So, I've been denied about 6 times now with my housing due to my, you know, judicial charges. Um, it's it makes me mad. It makes me wanna give up, but people say somebody told me the other day, "You can't stop working towards it or you'll never get
Mhm.
through it." So here I am in the back of my mind, I'm quitting. I'm not doing anything else. I'm done because 'cause they're not helping me, right? So I just keep going, keep doing the footwork, and I know that at the end of the tunnel, God's got something better.
Absolutely. You never know what God's got for you. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we've just got to step back and allow his timing to happen because, a lot of times we want to settle because we want it right now, that
Right now.
instant gratification. We forget, all the hard work just goes out and, we got to have it. But when we do reach that moment, it's like, wow, I'm
This is
so
what
glad I
I'm
didn't
waiting
settle.
for.
Exactly. So you work at the Gateway now,
I do.
which is exciting.
Yes,
Share a little
ma'am.
bit about that.
So from coming in and out, I had been hearing about them starting the coffee shop. And when I heard about it before we ever even opened it, before the Gateway ever even opened it, when I heard about it, I was with my sponsor and I was like, I want to work in the coffee shop. I want to work in the coffee shop. Oh my goodness. So I had my mindset on working in the coffee shop. Um, and then just from coming in and out, and they finally opened it April 30th of 2024. And it's been a fabulous experience for me. I mean, I am so grateful to be able to show people love and help people coming in and out. And I'm still growing there,
Yeah.
you know? Um, I serve the best coffee in Knoxville, I say, because the main ingredient is love, because I give it my all because I know how it is to not have.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to give, you know, serve with a smile.
I love
Eh,
how you always know people's names that are coming in the door, and you always greet them with a smile, and I think, you never know how a smile can change somebody's day.
Absolutely.
One of the things, struggling and being on the streets, people often get overlooked and people don't address them by their names, but when they walk into the gateway, like, they're always met with either, "Hello, friend," or a smile, or "How can I help you today?" Which is so important.
Yes, ma'am.
Something so small as just a random act of kindness or a kind word can completely change somebody's day, their whole perspective,
Yes.
which is huge.
And so many come through and they're like, I come through just to see that beautiful smile and I come through just for a hug and because I want to be that inspiration, to let them know I love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, what would you say your greatest reward has been so far since you've been in recovery?
The greatest reward. I got my high school diploma. That is the greatest reward
Ooh, that
yet.
gives me chills.
I
That's huge.
hated school. I hated school. And to have my diploma today at my age, that's the biggest accomplishment yet.
Yeah.
And there's more to come.
What's that? What's that look like? What are some of your goals for your future?
So I want to um, get my CPRS and become a CPRS, certified peer recovery specialist, so that I can help people um, individually or in group. I just want to help people today
Yeah.
um, because I know what it's like to not know about the help,
Yeah.
you know? So I just, I want to be able to go as far as I can with it,
Any plans for going back to school?
probably.
That's exciting.
um, it's not set yet. However, I've thought about it. I've thought about it. Mhm. Um, so a lot of people say I would be a great alcohol and drug counselor because I have the experience and I have went through it. So I know all about it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what God has in store for me, you know? Um,
That's exciting.
it's very exciting.
And you've got what, you're coming up on 21 months?
Yes, ma'am. October 29th will be 21 months.
Ooh, praise God. Man, that's good stuff.
January 29th, I'll have 2 years. Love
It's
it.
amazing what we do when we surrender our will.
Absolutely.
So, the name of the podcast is, turning your pain into purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you say that today you can take the hurt and the hardships that you experienced and now use it as your purpose?
I can. Absolutely.
That's it.
All the pain I've experienced, that I caused for myself, I allowed myself to, and not everything's my fault. I understand that, but the things that I have seen, the things that I have went through, um, you know, I had someone that supposedly loved me beat me and left me as I was dying, and um, that was a very hurtful part of my journey on the streets. That was one thing was like, "You've got to get out before you die
Yeah.
or before you kill somebody." And, I would pray and pray and pray, "God, get me out of this. God, get me out of this." And I would turn around and go right back. So when you hear the song Rescue Story, it hits the spot every time I listen to it because he rescued me. He rescued me from the pits of hell and brought me back to life.
Yeah, he did. I
Brought me back
mean,
to life.
you look like death that day one when you walked in the gateway, so broken.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
now you just see life, just this glow. Everybody sees it. It's in your smile. It's just in the way you carry yourself. Pretty
Miracle.
awesome. It
It's a
is.
miracle.
So, if you could look back to a time in your life when you were really struggling, what would you tell yourself?
When I was really struggling,
If you could go back and tell yourself something, what would it be?
you have the courage to change.
Mm, absolutely. Miss Christy, I just want to thank you so much. if you could say one thing to somebody out there that might be watching today, that might be struggling, or even a family member that might have a loved one that is struggling and they're not really for sure, what to do or, even where to begin, what would you share with them?
I would just say pray for those individuals, trust the process, and keep going because somebody's watching.
Thank you, Miss Christie, today.
Thank you for having me.
And for all of our watchers, I just want to encourage you to have a little courage to reach out to somebody that might be struggling, extend a hand, give a warm smile, call somebody by their name. Until next time, thanks for watching.